Hello ladies and gentlemen, hope you're having a great day and welcome to the Tundra Dude 34 YouTube channel. We have a real treat today. It's time to do the walk around and the test drive of the 2025 Platinum I-Force Max in Mag Gray, but it has the 6.5 foot bed. So we're gonna see what it's like to drive one of these new generation Tundras with the big bed and all the luxury. So what is the Platinum all about? The Platinum is one step down from the top of the trim line when it comes to the Toyota Tundra. But the reason the Platinum and the 1794, which are sister trims, are very attractive is because you could do a lot more adding than you can with, say, a Capstone. The Capstone comes one way, 5.5 foot bed, Crew Max 4x4 I-Force Max. With the Platinum and 1794, you still get a lot of luxury like you do in the Capstone, but with this one, you could do 5.5 foot bed, 6.5 foot bed, I-Force Max. You can add the TRD off-road package, so there's a lot more things you can do. You can also do 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, but again, a lot more options with the Platinum, so let's see what this particular one has. So you got the premium auto leveling headlights. Once again, this is the I-Force Max engine, 3.4 liter twin turbo V6 hybrid. It has the big dark chrome grille up front. You got the 360 camera, heated and ventilated front and rear leather seats on the inside, memory function for driver, and massaging seats in the front, new for 2025 on this truck here. Power folding mirrors, of course. You have the 20-inch wheels. You have the power side steps and the power bed step, which are not standard. They are not standard. That is something that you add on. Capstone, they are standard. Here's a look at the inside. So you got that black leather in there, pano roof, JBL 14-inch screen digital gauge cluster. Nicely loaded Tundra, one of the top trim lines for the Toyota Tundra. And this has, once again, the big 6.5 foot bed. Doesn't have a spray and liner. Bed lights and outlet are standard, as you can see. Got the big Tundra stamp across the tailgate, I-Force Max. There's the power bed step there. It's got the sensors, 20-inch wheels. Mag Gray looks so good on this setup. Platinum written down on the door. So the add-ons on this are the 10-inch color heads-up display, the power running boards, power bed step for $13.50, and the all-weather floor liners, $75,009. What's your thoughts on this truck? Before we get to the inside and do the test drive, my question to you is, what is your thoughts on a high luxury Tundra like this with the big bed? Is that something you would consider, or would you go 5.5 foot bed? Today, we're gonna talk a little bit about this when we take it for a ride. The reason this is attractive is because it's a high luxury Tundra, so you get all the amenities, but you also get the big bed for the crew. Say you need to take your family somewhere on a long trip and you want the big bed for all the gear, and then you tow a trailer. Whatever you may need it for, this is not just a truck that could do the job, but it has all the options as well. Let me know what you think. Let's get in this thing, take it for a ride. Once again, new for 2025, power up-down tailgate and massaging seats on the Platinum. So of course we have the power up-down tailgate on the Platinum with the power bed step there. Again, that's optional, not standard. Side steps and power bed step. This can also work on the fob if you want to power up down the tailgate. You'll see the step going with it. Just got to give it a minute, and there it folds. And let's check out the inside of this truck. Once again, this is an I-Force Max. Let's get unlocked here. You saw the step come down there. If we look on the inside, cover on the seat again, but you can see the blue and black stitching there. No storage under the seats, because that's where the batteries are. There are your floor mats. This can actually, if you pull this here, comes down. There's your JBL, a little storage space over there. Magazine flaps, all the soft touch everywhere. You got the shades that come down. More blue stitching. Some of your options here. Automatic high beams, heated steering wheel, fuel door, leather wrap steering wheel, digital gauge cluster, 14-inch screen, digital rear view mirror. There's your pano roof, black headliner, heated and ventilated front and rear seats, massaging in the front, memory function for driver. Got that stitching. Seats feel comfortable. There's the soft touch all over the place. In here, there's your power up down tailgate button, your view button, trailer assist, hazard lights, traction control, 14-inch screen, HVAC. There's your selector for tow haul in the drive mode, 2-wheel drive, 4 high and 4 low, selector. So let's take this thing for a test drive. What do you say? And please keep in mind, I-Force Max. So here's a look when everything is turned on. You got your digital gauge cluster here. This is your screen with all your features. The view button, if you hit that, if you put the truck into reverse, you'll see all the options, and then the mirrors tip down as well. Your 360, you could look in the bed, in the front, in the back. There's a lot of different things you could do when it comes to this truck as far as the view all around it with the 360 camera, digital rear view mirror. It's all here. Tons of features, power up down tailgate. What's your thoughts on the inside of this Platinum? What a beautiful truck. Okay, before we get started with the test drive, we got to go check out the new for 2025 massaging seats. Hit massage, hit the driver's seat, and then you turn the power on and you can change the intensity. I feel it instantly, which is pretty cool. Feel it down in my thighs. It's very neat. Change the intensity here. Play around with it. I feel it in the back. Then you got the upper body, lower body, lumbar. That's very cool. You could definitely feel it working. Massaging seats are something I've never experienced. A little bit different there. So we'll turn the power off there and we will get with our drive. Ladies and gentlemen, the 6.5-foot bed Platinum. Let's see what it's like to drive with the bigger bed on a very expensive Tundra. So this isn't like driving your 5.5-foot bed. You got to get a little used to it because it's a little bit longer. This truck is about 20 feet long, which is kind of insane, but I'm sure it's going to feel great. Again, this is the iForce Max engine, so I wouldn't expect any feeling of an underpowered situation here. I think this one will feel really good when we get it out on the road here. It's just a little bit longer. And here we go. Gotta love the sound. The JBL system gives you a little bit of that fed-in engine noise, which kind of makes it sound like the old 5.7 V8 with TRD dual exhaust, which is pretty cool. So here we go down the road. Gotta tell you, Platinum. It's been a long time since I drove a Platinum. I used to own a 2017 Platinum, but as far as new generation, this is the first time I've driven one in quite a while. I think 2022 was the last time. I drive a 1794, which is the sister trim of Platinum. It shares the luxury features. The only difference is the 1794 is a truck that has Western theme on it. Okay, so this doesn't have Western theme, but it has all the same stuff in it as far as soft touch leather, heated and ventilated front and rear seats, the pano. It has a lot of cool stuff in it. And, I gotta say, I really like the look. And I think this is why a lot of people choose Platinum over 1794s, because they don't want that tan interior. They would much rather something like this that is an all black interior in here. As far as driving with the 6.5-foot bed versus driving with the 5.5-foot bed, unless you told me I had a 6.5-foot bed on the back of this truck, I wouldn't even know the difference. It feels exactly the same. In turning, the way the truck feels, I always stress this in my videos. I'm sure I will get some eye rolls because it's something I always bring up. But this new generation Tundra, it has a great driving experience as far as suspension, body roll, brake dive. These trucks just really don't have it. As far as this new platform, it feels fantastic. And this is kind of the same way, even with the big bed, when you're, going around turns with it, or when you're coming to a traffic light, coming to a stop, even though it's a larger truck, it really feels exactly the same. I do suggest, if you're in the market for a half-ton pickup truck, test drive one of these. There are people out there that refuse to buy the 5.5-foot bed. I talk to them fairly often. You need to have the 6.5-foot bed. You need the CrewMax cab. Well, good news. Toyota offers the CrewMax with the 6.5-foot bed in SR5, Limited, Platinum, and 1794. So if you don't want to spend the money on the high trim stuff like this one, you could get an SR5 and have some luxury features, but maybe not all. You could still get the 14-inch screen. You could TRD off-road or not. Now right there, coming to that stop sign, zero brake dive. Gotta love it. It's just comfortable. The whole truck is built in a way where everything works together to just improve the ride for you, the driver, and your occupants. There's nothing that feels uncomfortable. And one thing I used to be very critical of is in the iForce Max, you do have to get used to the brakes, because the brakes in the iForce Max, they're a little bit different. Don't forget, you know, with the hybrid, with the brake regen and all that, they just feel different than your regular 3.4 liter twin turbo V6 Tundra. But overall, you know, it's something you get used to right away. But in going from my 1794 that I drove here to Conshohocken and jumping in this, I instantly can feel the difference, you know, in the way the brakes work. But as far as like brake dive and body roll and anything like that, not an issue whatsoever. When we hit the view button, there's the big bed back there, 6.5 foot bed. So this truck is going to be perfect for those folks that use their bed often. Okay. So if you're someone, say you own a business and you have a big family, this is going to seat 5 very comfortably here. And, you know, you're going to have that big bed to put all your gear in. And this truck can tow with the iForce Max engine right around 11,000 pounds. So overall, this should be a win-win all the way around if you need a 6.5 foot bed. But making a turn right here, it doesn't feel any different than the 5.5 foot bed. Just something you might want to look into. There aren't a lot of CrewMax with 6.5 foot beds out there compared to the 5.5 foot bed Tundras. There's always going to be a lot more of the 5.5 foot bed Tundras. Those are the high volume movers. But they are out there with the 6.5 foot bed. You just got to look around. And I got to be honest with you, I'm liking it. I'm loving the Platinum. I always love the Platinum. I love the fact that you can get all of the features that you can in this truck, like JBL. You don't have to add anything. Unlimited, you have to add a lot of stuff. On Platinum, you know, JBL, 14-inch screen, digital gauge cluster, pano roof, leather seats that are heated and ventilated front and rear, memory function for driver, and they're also massaging in the front, like premium auto leveling headlights, like the whole 9 on this. We're gonna do a little spin around here. When I drive around in the iForce Max Tundra, I could see why people like it. There definitely is a lot more power than the regular 3.4 liter twin turbo V6 for sure. This truck has a lot more kick. Unfortunately, the fuel mileage, it seems to suffer with the iForce Max compared to the regular iForce engine, because one thing you have to keep in mind, and you know, I've been saying since the beginning that this might be something that deters people a little bit. When they hear hybrid engine, especially from Toyota, they think ultimate fuel mileage. Unfortunately, this engine is not for ultimate fuel mileage. This engine is for power and torque, and for those that are towing and that kind of thing. It is not set up for, you know, amazing fuel mileage like a Prius is or something like that. But there you go with another turn there. Feels exactly like the 5.5 foot bed Tundra. I don't know why I was expecting something completely different. I think I was expecting a lot more body sway and maybe some brake dive, but I don't have that at all. But as far as the iForce Max engine goes, you know, it's definitely something worth test driving, but please remember, and this may be something that some of you say, oh, that's not a big deal, but many bring up, you do lose the underseat storage, and people want the underseat storage in the rear. So in the hybrids, you don't get that. That might be something that pushes you away. Test drive, test drive, test drive. There's nothing wrong with the regular 3.4 liter twin turbo V6. I drive one every single day. I absolutely love it. So do yourself a favor, do the test drive of both. It's plenty powerful, but if you want to spend the extra $3,000 to $3,500 for a more powerful engine, this is something you're going to want to check out. And I don't see, if you were in the market, why you wouldn't check out something like a Platinum with all of the luxury features in here as well. So a nice, powerful, fast truck that has all the luxury features and can still do truck stuff, right? Especially this one with a bigger 6.5 foot bed. Overall, big fan of the truck I'm behind the wheel of right now. Mag gray, can't go wrong on the Platinum with all the dark chrome and the black. Everything is tied together so beautifully. Big fan of the look. Love the capability with the bigger bed and the around 11,000 pound tow rating. Tons of power with the iForce Max. I'm a happy guy right now. So go down in the comments and let me know what you think in the comments below. Number one question, I want to hear from everybody on this one. What is your thoughts on the Tundra's CrewMax with the 6.5 foot bed setup? Is that something you would want? Is that something you would consider? Or are you fine with the 5.5 foot bed? I can't wait to hear this debate. Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok at TundraDude34, TundraDude34 at gmail.com. I may trade in for a 2025 strictly based off of how comfortable the massaging seat features are.